A man lies face down on a concrete floor. A pool of blood spreads beneath him, his skull crushed. And all around him, thousands of snakes, pythons coiled behind glass, anacondas as long as small cars, boas the weight of grown men. One of the largest, a 600-pound serpent, is missing from its cage. Deputies arrive with shotguns drawn, not for an intruder, for the snake. They think it killed him. Everyone does. They are wrong. What happened in that building was not nature. It was not random. It was not an accident. It was 8 bullets, fired in cold blood, by someone he trusted with his life. And the most disturbing part? She almost got away with it. For nearly 3 years, Benjamin Blue Britch Renick was born on August 4th, 1987. By 29 years old, he was royalty in the reptile world. He ran Renick Reptiles out of his family's 72-acre farm in New Florence, Missouri. He shipped pythons from the United Kingdom to Japan. He designed snakes, engineered their colours, their patterns, with a genetic precision that made him world famous. Buyers paid thousands of dollars for a single animal. But Ben wasn't just a businessman. He was a husband, a father. He had a daughter named Amelia and a stepson, Matthew, that he raised as his own. He'd met Lynlee Gallatin in his early 20s while playing drums in a metal band. They married on April 13, 2014, in St. Charles, Missouri. To the outside world, they had built something rare, a passion, a family, a legacy. Inside that house, something else entirely. June 8, 2017. A summer evening in Montgomery County, Lynlee Renick called 911. She said she'd found her husband in his snake building, face down, blood everywhere. She called Ben's older brother Sam, who lived in a separate house on the same property. Sam ran to the facility. He saw Ben on his stomach. He saw the wound to the skull, and he thought, like everyone would, that an anaconda had gotten loose. When Montgomery County deputies arrived, they didn't think they were walking into a homicide. They thought they were hunting a snake. Body cam footage shows them moving through aisles of glass enclosures, shotguns raised. One deputy says it out loud, that if anything tries to bite him, he's going to fire first. Then the coroner, Dave Colbert, looked closer. He saw shell casings on the floor, bullet holes in the concrete. No snake fired a gun. Ben Renick had been shot 8 times. The scene was a masterpiece of misdirection, a loose anaconda, a grieving widow, a husband whose own profession could plausibly kill him. For one terrifying hour, every investigator on that farm believed they were dealing with an animal attack. But the deception didn't start on June 8th. According to court testimony, it started weeks before. Lynlee owned a day spa called Essentia in Columbia, Missouri. It was bleeding money. Behind the scenes, she had told her spa manager, Ashley Shaw, that she wanted Ben dead. Not divorced, dead. They tried first, with poison. Ashley obtained between 12 and 15 Percocet pills. Lynlee blended them into a protein shake. Ben drank it, got violently ill, vomited for hours, and lived. So they escalated. Lynlee tracked down an ex-boyfriend named Michael Humphrey, recently released from prison on drug charges. She told him Ben was abusing her. She asked him for a gun. On the afternoon Ben was murdered, Ashley Shaw stayed at the spa, holding Lynlee's phone, sending messages from it, building the alibi in real time, while her boss was driving home to commit a homicide. Have you ever known someone who could lie this perfectly? Drop a comment and tell me, because what comes next is somehow worse. The autopsy was clinical. The pain it described was not. 6 gunshot wounds to the back, 1 to the back of the head, fired at close range. 8 rounds recovered between his body and the concrete beneath him. This wasn't a single panicked shot. This was an emptying, a volley, a decision made over and over and over again. Each time the trigger was pulled. Coroner Dave Colbert said it plainly. Someone really didn't like Mr. Renick, and the damage stretched outward like fractures in glass. Sam Renick, Ben's only brother, was led to the body by the woman he would later come to believe pulled the trigger. He told the court she put on what he called a display, screaming, yelling, "Why?" performing grief in real time. He said that performance would haunt him for the rest of his life. Ben's children would be raised away from his family. Told a version of events that does not match the verdict. For nearly 3 years, the case went cold. Lynlee failed a Missouri State Highway Patrol polygraph on October 5, 2017. She sold the 72-acre Renick farm for close to $800,000. She moved on with a man named Brandon Blackwell, an affair that had begun just 3 days before her husband was killed. She had a baby with him. Then that relationship turned violent. Brandon was arrested for violating an order of protection, charged with felony stalking, and from a jail cell in 2020, he made the call that broke the case open. He told investigators Lynlee had confessed everything: the poison, the plan, the gun. On January 16, 2020, Lynlee Renick and Michael Humphrey were arrested, both charged with first-degree murder and armed criminal action under Missouri statute. Michael Humphrey was tried first in October 2021, convicted of first-degree murder, sentenced to life without parole. Then, in exchange for leading police to the murder weapon hidden in an attic and agreeing to testify against Lynlee, that was reduced to second-degree murder with the possibility of parole. In December 2021, in Boone County Circuit Court, Lynlee Renick took the stand in her own defense. She said Michael was the shooter. The jury did not believe her. She was convicted of second-degree murder and armed criminal action. Judge Kevin Crane imposed 13 years for the murder count and 3 years for the armed criminal action, to run consecutively. 16 years total. She is currently incarcerated at the Chillicothe Correctional Center. Projected release, 2038. She maintains her innocence. Here is the question no court has ever fully answered. Who actually pulled the trigger? The jury convicted Lynlee of murder, but not as the shooter. They returned a verdict of second degree, not first degree, even though prosecutors had begged them to go higher. The judge himself made it clear he disagreed with the verdict. Michael Humphrey says Lynlee fired every shot. Lynlee says he did. There were no fingerprints recovered, no DNA, no gunshot residue, only the testimony of people who had everything to gain by talking. 8 bullets in a man's body, 2 stories, 1 verdict that refused to choose between them. So I want to ask you, based on what you've heard tonight, who do you believe? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one. Ben Renick was 29 years old, a father, a husband, a man who built something rare from a child's fascination with the wild. He trusted the wrong person. If this story stayed with you, hit subscribe. Share it with someone who needs to see how easily a smile can hide a plan. Because somewhere, right now, someone is being told they are loved by someone who is already counting the insurance money.